Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It's time for another live stream. Today is Friday. We have made it to the weekend, October 27th, 2023. Welcome, everybody, especially all you guys listening on the audio version on the podcast. Welcome to you guys, and hopefully you guys are having a good run today. The day looked like it was going to be raining out here in Crystal Lake in McHenry County. But it turned out by the time I wanted to go for a run, it was fine. A little bit on the windy side, but warm. Also a little bit humid. So, overall, kind of a B plus kind of day. And I hope for you, as you're listening to this on the run, for at least a B plus, maybe better, maybe an A minus kind of day for you weather-wise. An A is great too, but, in this transitional time of year, as we go from summer to fall, I think a B plus is about as good as you can ask for. So hopefully, that's what you're getting today. And everyone else that's listening to this later but not live, welcome to the number one place for running-related poop talk. And that is not a euphemism. We're actually going to be talking about poop. And on that note, I will say that's kind of the reason why I'm a little bit late today. I had a workout today. I went down to, I forget the name of the college that I go to. There's a university that has a track that is very easily to get onto. And I like that because then everyone there is like college. There's no like minors that are there, so it's not weird for a dude to be showing up like if I were to go to like a high school or a middle school or anything like that. So I could just go onto that track. It's easy to get onto. There isn't like a fence that I have to try to figure out if it's open or locked or not. But the only thing is it's far away. So it was a long drive. I had a hard workout, and then on the way home I had a protein shake and no food. And so by the time I got home, stomach was a little bit upset at me. So hopefully we'll be able to have a full episode today, but we'll see how that goes. All right. And today we are going to do an unboxing. I do have two packages. I can kind of see there's a label on the side of this, so I can kind of see what it is, but I thought I'd let you guys pick. One is a package from Roadrunner Sports, and one is this box on top. It's a smaller box, so you guys can pick later on. Let me know in the chat which one you would like me to pick. Once you guys get kind of bored of the banter and want to see an unboxing, let me know which one you want to unbox. But first, let's see who else we got in the chat here. We got Daniel Burton with a rest day. Eric A is also having a recovery day as well. Crunchy's also having a recovery day, so that's nice. You guys have recovery days on your Fridays? Then you got to work harder on the weekend, I feel like, I get it, though. Some people want to have their weekends to have more time, so that's when they want to do a lot of work. And also Friday is usually a day you might want to socialize with friends. So that's a good idea. I could see that. And Country says, pacing my wife on a bike for her half tomorrow, though. Good luck to her. And my butt for being on a bike seat for 2 hours. 2 hours is a long time on a bike seat if you're not accustomed to that. I feel like that's something that people don't really talk about a lot in the biking world, bicycling world, In motorcycling, they talk about it all the time. You need an iron butt. But in bicycling, they're kind of like, well, you get your bike shorts, you need your chamois, but like people don't talk about like how long it takes. For me, as a runner moving into the cycling world, like the aerobic part, the transition took a little bit of time, but like the butt transition took a lot longer. It's a pain in your butt. That's all. All right. Syriaca says, great relay interview with Emily. Everyone go watch and listen. Yes. So Tommy Runs and I are on relay, and we have a podcast together where we interview other running influencers and kind of pick their brain a little bit for whatever they want to talk about. With Laura Green, we had on a little while ago. She talked a lot about money and how to make money and how to like negotiate brand deals and stuff. And with Emily, we talked a lot about like her creative process and also like how she started out early on getting brands to send her stuff to review, even though she had, say, less than a couple hundred subscribers. So that was pretty cool, very eye-opening. And also just a lot of fun. Both Tommy and I have known Emily kind of like separately for a long time. And we both each have interviewed her before separately, but then to have this together was a lot of fun. So that's on Relay. You can catch that on YouTube. It's also on your favorite podcast listener of choice. It's an audio only form for those of you audiophiles. Audiophile files. And then I even uploaded it to Spotify video too, for people who are into Spotify. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that or not, but I'm trying. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit more. I'll catch up to you guys in the chat. Sorry, I'm behind you guys. All right. Eric Paramount. Stevie76 says, name your Emily's. Emily Heller. Sorry, Emily Heller. Run like Heller. That's the Emily that there are many Emilys in the running world, it seems. Emily Heller, sorry. John Askew says, has anyone read Serious Runner's new book? I'm seeing a lot of myself in the first few chapters I've read. I tease Steven all the time. I pretend that I'm actually mad at him a lot on the book, because not in the book, in real life, not in real life, but like in Instagram and stuff, because he'll post stuff and I'll be like, dude, this is cutting too close to home. This is, it's like, it's too because satire is a subtle, it's a delicate dance that you have to do where it has to hit close to home to be funny, but sometimes you go too far and it feels like now you're being mean. And I always like to pretend that he was being too mean and like poking fun too much at me. But I'm reading his book and he's like, giving, helpful Strava tips, or like Instagram caption tips. And he's like, blank on deck. Blank could be the race that you have coming up. And that's what you might put as a caption to a workout, either on Strava or on Instagram. For example, if you were running the half marathon at Houston, you say Houston on deck. And I'm like, dude, I'm running. How long have I been talking about having Houston the half marathon on my calendar? And Houston half, who runs not a lot of people run the Houston half compared to the, I'm like, is he making fun of me here? But I think that's what makes it so brilliant in terms of the comedy. Is like, is he trolling me? I'm pretty sure he's trolling me. But it's been fun. I don't get very far because, like any other book, I read like 2 pages and I'm out. It's like a sedative. But this one, I'm enjoying slowly getting through it all. You know what I mean? I don't mind going slow because then it just means I can enjoy it for longer. All right. Let's see who we got here. James says, yo, what's going on? I got my own unboxing today. No running stuff, though. All right. Well, now that you mentioned it, you got to let us know what it was. So don't come here teasing us, James. Let us know what's in the box. We want to know what's in the box. Alf Dickinson says, was contemplating starting a German volume training, 10 sets of 10 reps on the way home from work, but now I'm resting in the hope of a parkrun PB tomorrow. What's German volume training? What is that? I'm not familiar with that. Oh boy. Adam Fear said, Adam wanted me to clarify the Emily's because he thought I had interviewed Emily Sisson. I don't think I could get the Emily Sisson interview. I can interview some. I have access to some pros, but some pros I think are not as interested in talking to me. Their loss, really, but in my opinion, but I'm not going to hold it against them. Some people want to interact with the media more than others, and that's okay. Yeah. I tried to get Emily Sisson to come out to my New Balance Shakeout run last year. I made the request through the channels, through the correct, like I sent it to my New Balance contact, and they're like, I think she's going to be busy. And I'm like, I know, I just thought I'd ask. But Emma Coburn came. That was cool. I got a chance to meet Emma Coburn, and that was nice. That was nice for her to come. She had no idea who I was, and that's awesome. That's fine. It was a humbling experience, but it was nice to be able to meet her. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Fernando says, it's Harper College. That's what I thought. I kept wanting to say I was at McHenry College for my workout today, but I know for a fact McHenry College is much closer to me, but McHenry College does not have a track. They've got a couple of baseball fields, which look really nice, but they do not have a track. I wish they did, but I'm not going to be upset about it because tracks are very expensive to put in. I was talking to Dina Castor about it because Mammoth Track Club was able to buy that land from Mammoth for $1, but they had to promise that they were going to, in fact, develop a track on that property and make it open to the public. And so that was the deal. And so she told me how much it cost, and it was expensive. I'm like, a track costs that much to build? She's like, well, it's more than just like the 8 lanes, when it comes to developing a property into a track. So I'm like, well, that makes sense. But yeah, she's like, but even the 8 lanes itself, that costs a lot. So I'm like, oh, okay. Cannabis Culture Tech Life says, you know what? When it comes to the butt talk, good bike seat goes a long way. That I would say, I don't know if it's true or not. All I know is, because I'm not that experienced, I've only had one real bike before. I have to look over there because it's over there on the trainer. It's a Specialized LA. I think probably the most basic Specialized bike that Specialized makes. I've only had that one seat. And I will say that it seems to me like the fancier the bike, the less comfortable the seat looks. I mean, just look at the seats. And I know like the looks aren't all, it depends on how it fits along with your anatomy. But like, no pun intended. But like when you look at like, say, like a beach cruiser, that's a big old comfy cushion, right? And then you look from a beach cruiser to like, say, a mountain bike, from a mountain bike to like a road bike, and then a road bike to like an expensive road bike. The seat just gets smaller and smaller, So, and I don't know, like I've seen reviews of like aftermarket seats that you can get. And those, like the more expensive the seat gets, the less seat that there always seems to be. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing for like running clothes or like even running shoes. A lot of times running shoes, you're just getting less and less the more expensive it comes generally. Josie says, I've had a recovery week on travel for work after running the Cocoa Beach Half Marathon with my daughter last Sunday. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds nice. I did the McHenry 5K with my daughter this year. My youngest daughter wasn't old enough. She got to do the kids dash. But I did the 5K with my daughter. That was a lot of fun. She was struggling. 5K is a little bit longer than she normally runs. That was like a distance run for her. And we hadn't really been training at that point in the summer, but it was nice. I hear all these stories, of like dads that run with their daughters, and it's always nice. And it usually goes along the lines of, so I've been kind of running my entire life. And then my daughter said, Daddy, let's run a half marathon together. Or Daddy, let's run a marathon together. And so I had to start training again. And I'm like, that sounds kind of nice though. And there's a lot of times it's when the daughter is like in college or something. And so like, I'm basically repeating the storyline for, what's his name? His name's Tom something. I don't know if he's retired now or not, but he's also happens to be a journalist for CNN. And he wrote a book about running. And he wrote about how he ran like a half marathon or a marathon with his daughter. But they would have like regular phone calls about it. I'm like, that's a nice way to kind of stay in touch when the kid moves out and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah. I hope for that. If we don't happen, I hope that I can find another way that I can connect with her. But like, hey, this is easy for me. If it's running, that's the way we connect, Mark Peterson says, I got 3 packages today myself. For some reason, REI decided to send my 3 John G. Sail shorts, half shorts, and 3 separate packages, and they all arrived on the same day. That's interesting. That's weird. I don't know what's going on with REI. I would say, I think I've maybe been in an REI store, like physical store, once in my entire life. But I've been talking with a lot of brands lately, and they're all the conversation I have with a lot of them we're very excited because this year we're in like 2 running stores in the country. Next year we'll be in all REIs. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of escalation. But what is REI doing? I feel, is REI like super double? I thought REI, I didn't even know you can get running stuff at REI for a long time. And now all of a sudden you can get a lot of stuff? I don't know. Jason Dahl says, hey everyone, been able to make the live stream all week. There you go. 5 for 5. That's consistency. I'm excited when I can have a live stream all week. Because next week we're going to have some travel. So we're only going to probably do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, I head out to New York for the marathon. So hopefully I'll see you guys at some point over the weekend, you know. And I was also thinking that, you know what, because I'm not running the race and I'm trying to keep mileage up for Houston, because I got Houston on deck, as they say. So I think I'm going to have to, like, I was just like, oh, I'll just have a lot of fun doing a bunch of shakeouts. But I'm like, oh, I think I got to do a workout at some point. And I'm like, do I need to, I think I'm going to be there long enough where I need to find a gym session. I'm like, what gym? I know there's gyms in New York. Yeah, but I'm like, what gym can I have access to? I don't know. I got to figure all that out. Renes Martinez says, I got my running vest at REI, and it was an REI brand that came in plus sizes. Oh, that's cool. Lala P says REI is the real deal. Is it? Video says, what is REI doing? They take the shoes and mark them way the hell up. Do they? They mark them up? I feel like I'm not sure about that. Dad Al says, REI has terrible inventory and wait times. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've ever shopped at REI. I mean, I've been to an REI. I remember when they put a new one right on the river in Chicago. I'm trying to think if I've ever went to that one. I don't know if I've ever bought anything online from REI. But a lot of you guys are shopping over there. Kyle said I just picked up some on cloud surfers through REI and they arrived in 2 days. Oh, that's pretty nice. Andrew Cho says REI is cool. Lots of cool stuff there. Yeah, Jason Dell says REI has a lot of Janji and a couple other brands. Yeah, I feel like I think that's the only retailer that Janji's in. But I feel like that's not a bad thing. Calvin Huang says REI has a bunch of running stuff. Got my Boston 11s for $40 at $40. Sean Devlin says they have a good running section. I'm gonna have to check one out. See what it's all about there. I don't think there are any out in McHenry County where I am. I'll have to look. All right, Sangbin says, there's a running question here. Is it better to do an interval session in the week leading up to a 5K race or do easy runs with strides? I would say it kind of depends on what your training has been and what your goals are for the 5K. So without really knowing that, I would say like stay rested and stay fresh for your 5K in the week leading up. You don't have to do like a full 2-week taper. And even then in a taper, I still do some workouts. So, but they're just similar intensity, smaller volume is what I do for even like in a marathon week. But, I'd say if you're not sure, I'd err on the side of easy run with some strides. Save it for the race. Sean Devlin says, going back to the butts and seats, says, it takes a few weeks for the butt to toughen up for spin class Peloton, I found, even with bike shorts. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was using the bike to do a lot more cross training, I was like, aerobically, I'm fine, but I can't last more than like an hour and 15 minutes before I have to start worrying about, am I going to be butt sore the next day? I don't know. It was like weird math. I don't know. Dad around says, when it comes to bikes, the right seat and shorts and having experience equals comfort. I think that's about right. Andrew Scott says, I want to see a carbon fiber tri-bike with a big old springy saddle on it. I mean, like, Maybe not a big, like I don't know, maybe not a seat like you would see on a beach cruiser, but I'm surprised at like something that looks a little bit more like a banana seat. Like I feel like why isn't that, has no one thought about making a seat that curls over the back of your butt? I don't know, I guess you don't need that, but I just feel like something that like envelops you a little more would make some kind of sense to me. I don't know. I guess why would you need it to come up high? But I don't know. I've kind of like given up trying to understand. I'm like, these are the tools, and don't fight it. People have spent lifetimes thinking about ways to make it better, faster, and more comfortable. And so, like, this is the best. This is what they got. And so I'm like, and after all, like, I don't really need, for my purposes, I don't need to really be on the bike for more than an hour and a half. Torres says, I used a Peloton at the gym for the first time the other day, and it was so uncomfortable. They just got a bunch of Peloton bikes at the YMCA that I go to, and there's signs for it everywhere. I feel like it's a big draw for people. Jeff Elliott says, how's the riding been going? Do you only ride inside on the trainer? At this point, yeah. I just don't, I don't know how to change a tire, and that's on me. I should just take the probably 20 minutes to figure it out. But I'm petrified that I'll be on a ride somewhere and then I'll have a flat and then I'll be stuck somewhere and I'll have to have my wife come pick me up, which isn't, the worst of all possible outcomes. But I don't like that. Plus, I don't like the potential for getting hit by a car. So that I don't like. So I'm just like, I use it to, I don't enjoy riding my bike. Like, I enjoy riding my bike with my kids outside, but I don't enjoy riding my bike for exercise all that much. I haven't ridden with a group before, and I talk to Thomas about it all the time. And he's like, that's where it's fun. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, you ride for a couple hours, you stop for like coffee and some food. I'm like, that sounds like an all day activity that maybe is going to take longer than I want to spend. But it does sound fun to do from time to time. And even on some of the bike paths that I run on the weekends, when it's nice out, I see packs of cyclists and I'm like, that looks like fun. But by myself, I just don't like it all that much. And I'd rather just be on the bike trainer and like have Zwift open on on my phone and then watch movies on my iPad on the other screen. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But even then, like right now, I'm running doubles rather than hopping on the bike, which depending on how my body feels with running like doubles, I might switch over to the bike. Andrew Cho says, for your marathon training, how many miles do you go up to per week? For my last marathon block, I think I peaked at like 85, maybe 89. I was in like the mid 70s, high 70s, somewhere around there. Like London, if I can I'm assuming I'll somehow figure out a way to get a bib for London. I did do, there was like an Abbott like virtual challenge. You pay $45 and you run a half marathon by yourself, but then you get an extra draw for the lottery for London. So I did that, and then for Berlin there was also an extra Abbott lottery for free that I could enter to if you're a 6-star chaser and you have 4 stars. So I did that, and I did get a bib for Berlin. I just I couldn't work it into my calendar to go last year, and I'm hoping to go 2024. So anyway, for London, I'd like to try. Well, here's the plan is I'm going to be weight training and doubling for the half marathon in January. We'll see how I feel, and if that still works out well, I'll apply that to a marathon training block. And so hopefully we'll be able to build a little bit on top of that. And so like this whole half marathon training block is a lot of speed work, but like a lot of base building kind of to get ready for marathon training in April. And so hopefully for the next one, I'll be able to get, maybe to 90 miles as a peak week. Do that for maybe 2 or 3 weeks to see how I feel about that. But, I'll see how I feel. but that's usually where I'm at. 60s to 70s is where I've been for most of my marathon training blocks. Sean Devlin says, REI made their own trail running shoe sort of recently. I saw that. I got approached about participating in a campaign for it. I'm like, I'm not going to be in a campaign for a shoe in the way that you want me to. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. And so I was like, if you guys want to send that to me, you can send it to me. If you guys want me to be in a campaign, like I'm not going to be in a campaign for a shoe I haven't reviewed first. And they're like, well, we really wanted the campaign to coincide with the launch. And I'm like, then I can't participate. So, yeah. JC says, Mike, do you have a goal for Houston? Sorry if you've already stated it here. Yeah, I do. It's kind of amorphous. I'd like to beat my half marathon PR, which I think I set like in 2019, maybe. I don't remember what it is. The last half marathon I ran kind of fast was Clearwater, which isn't a flat course, but it isn't a hilly course. But I didn't really train for it. And that one was like a 127, 128. I think my half marathon PA is like 126 mid, something like that. I'd like to get under 125 would be great. Just because I haven't ever trained specifically for a half marathon before. All my half marathon PRs are like while I'm also training for a marathon. But lately, as I'm training for marathons, I have not been interested in running fast half marathons. I'll do a tune-up half marathon, but it'll be like mostly marathon miles and then some faster, So like, I'm interested to see what'll happen. So I'm not sure what will happen when I tweak my training a little bit to be more half marathon specific. So we'll see. Right now I'm thinking 85 will be hard because that's like 626 to 630s. That's what my threshold efforts are right now. So like, it'll take some work to see if I can get there. But also another part of me is like, I don't know, I should be able to hit under 85 pretty easy if I'm fit. So I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those where, we'll keep doing the workouts and doing the training and then see what those like kind of what I think the indicator workouts are telling me and then kind of start out there and see in the race what happens. All right. Average Running says, I got to go to Utopia Bagels in Queens, New York. Here's the thing about bagels, in my opinion on bagels in New York. We're like best blank when it comes to food. I don't care a lot of the time. Especially like when it comes to bagels and you don't really get really good bagels here in the Midwest. Like any bagel is a good bagel when I go back to the East Coast, pretty much. It's hard. You have to go out of your way to get a bad bagel. Or you've gone to a place where you're like, yeah, I should have known that they weren't going to have good bagels here, kind of thing. Same thing with like pizza when I'm in Detroit. I don't need to eat the best Detroit style pizza if I'm in Detroit. Give me a place that has good pizza. I want to experience the style and I don't need pinnacle. I'm not a food hunter. Some people are food hunters and they're like, I want to go to Grimaldi's or I want to get this. I want to have like the coal fire pizza. I want to do all that. That's cool. And it's interesting. And I love to eat at those places. But like for me, I'm like, if I'm in Queens and I see it, or if it's like, oh, I'm going to be going, and I have been thinking about stopping by somewhere in Queens for this trip, then I'm like, well, how far away will Utopia Bagels be? Maybe I can do both, but, so a lot of times, like, I don't go out of my way to find stuff when it comes to restaurants. So that's my opinion on it. But like, I hear you, Utopia Bagels, if I see it, or if I can find a way to make it work with some of my other Queens plans, yeah, we'll try and make it work for sure. Adam says, I think you can run low 120s. It is hard. Keeping just the right amount of pressure on. Start out almost like a full effort wise, then finish like a 10K. Yeah, I think that like I'm going to have to run a little bit, what feels a little bit reckless to be able to really hit a fast time and then just like find a way to hang on later, just because half marathons are such a different race than a full marathon. And I think Houston could be a good place where there will be fast people that I'll be able to run with that are trying to do something a little bit reckless feeling as well. So I think that I could be in the low 120s as well. But you know, there's a lot that has to happen between now and then, and it'll be like, well, like how focused can I stay when I'm going to be in New York for 5 days, and then I'm going to be in Austin for 5 days, and then right after that be in Sacramento for 3 days, you know, and then also I'll be in Iowa for Thanksgiving, and then I'll be doing with Christmas stuff. So there's like, you know, how consistent can the training be, you know? So we'll see. I'd like to be there. I mean, I'd feel very proud about like a 123, even in like a 124 low. But like, I mean, that's what's up 125 is. But like, I think just getting under this, even having a 125, like an 85 mid, I'd feel pretty good about that. Anything that beats the current PB. But I mean, like I ran a 256 marathon in April. So like, you know, that wasn't like a long time ago fitness wise. Yeah, I'm not in that shape, but it's not like I'm relying on a PR from 4 years ago, 5 years ago when I was a lot younger. So I think that there's room, but it's just, you know, it's going to hurt, but I feel like, you know, I'll have a fun shoe to run in. Houston weather's usually pretty good. The course is going to be good, and there'll be people to run with. So, you know, I'm trying to get Thomas and Megan to come back down again. I don't know if they're going to be racing, but I'm trying to get them to come down. So that'll be fun to see them. Daniel Burton says, don't carry the selfie stick. Yeah, I probably still will. So there's that. So Calvin says they'll come down for Y'all Out Boy. Is Y'all Out Boy going to be in Houston around that time? I don't. If that's the case, then yeah. Then I could probably get him to come down. But yeah. All right, Eric Paramount says box. Which box do you guys want? You guys are all asking for the box, but you got to tell me. You want the Roadrunner Sports box? It's shoes, and then this is a different sized box. Which one do you want? The one on the top or the one on the bottom? All right, everyone wants the blue box. Adam says blue. Andrew Scott says the Roadrunner Sports box. All right. Okay, Jeff Light says box. JC says door number 2. I don't know which one that even refers to. Some of you are asking for the mystery box, but we'll just do that one on Monday. All right, we'll get to the Roadrunner Sports box. I'm pretty excited about this one. It's a pair of shoes. I bought this one myself because I knew that it wouldn't get sent to me. So I know what it is because I don't order that many shoes anymore these days. And I know that this one will not get sent to me. So we'll give it a shot. You can see the box is orange. Whoa. Kind of rough. But I don't keep the boxes anymore. So I'm not too concerned about that. And what we have today is actually a Nike shoe. We got the Vomero 17. Look at this. It's a weird design shoe. I was looking at, I think Ben Johnson had posted he posted a bunch of posts about this Vomero 17. And I was looking at his post and I was like, he compared this one to last one. He had like the two shoes, one on top of the other. And the one thing that I like about it this year is that the word ZoomX is actually on the ZoomX foam this year. For a very long time, every time Nike had a shoe with ZoomX and another foam, the ZoomX was always written on the other foam and not the ZoomX. So that was weird. But yeah, it's a little bit heavier than it looks. And I don't love the huge like curl of foam that's on here, but I guess, it's for the heel stability. But I mean, like, you've got the Vomero has always had a low cut ankle on the sides here. And then you got this big up curl sidewall. So there's not a lot of material of the shoe on this side. And then this, I do not like. This little tabby guy. What is this? And then like little reflective, just stickers. Like this is like when, like if I ever go to like Staples or Office Max or whatever, and I bring my kids, they go there and like they can't leave without buying something for some reason. So they're like, well, let me get these thumbtacks, paper clips. Can I have paper clips? It's usually what we end up settling in is like the pack of circle stickers that you use for like labeling things if you were to have like a garage sale or something. And that's kind of what these things look like, those stickers. But otherwise, I like a lot more. It seems like there's a lot more ZoomX in it than this year. And then I think they're finally recognizing that people like having a name for the other foam in the shoe. So I think they're actually identifying it as Cushlon this year. Last year, I think they called it SRO2. They didn't really have a name for it. They never liked to talk about it all that much, but I'm excited to run in this one. I enjoyed last year's Vomero. It was the best Pegasus that Nike has made in a while. I hope that this is an even better Pegasus. Yeah. And you know what? Here's a couple of things that I've been noticing lately. I've been calling the Vomero, I'm not saying that people are saying it because I said it, but I've been calling the Vomero the best Pegasus that Nike's been making for a long time, several years. And I think that maybe, has it been several? It feels like a long time. Maybe it's only been a couple of years. Maybe it's only been a year. But I've been saying that for a while. I'm seeing other people start to agree with that and say it too. I'm also seeing a lot of people who are very angry about my early takes on the Super Blast coming around on the Super Blast. That's all right. It's all right. You're here with me now. That's all that matters. James says the Nova Blast 3 is the best Pegasus. Well, I mean, I'm saying within the Nike lineup, you know. Is the Nova Blast a good Pegasus? Maybe, because it's got that weird, they call it the trampoline thing in the, let's look at it. Because they have this center part here, they call it the trampoline. Maybe they were trying to mimic the Zoom Air pocket effect. Possibly. I'll just keep it within the Nike family and say the Vomero is the best Pegasus that Nike makes right now. I'm just not a fan of the current Pegasus. Calvin says, which will be a better shoe first, the Pegasus or the Cumulus? I'm not a huge fan of, like, the Cumulus is okay. I had a conversation about it yesterday with someone. I like the Cumulus 24 more than the Cumulus 25. Cumulus 25 is fine. Where is mine? I don't know. It's around here somewhere. But the way that they designed this midsole, it flares outward. So like it goes out and gets fatter. It's like this weird trapezoid shape, which makes it very stout, very stable. And so even though there is a FF Blast Plus foam in here, it just doesn't feel like FF Blast Plus foam. Then there is the pure gel in here, which I think has a minimal effect, but it just feels like it's a very, very stable shoe, and I find it not as interesting. The Cumulus 24, had a lot more gel in it, but it at least felt like a workhorse shoe. It felt like a shoe that you could work with. The Cumulus 24 is like, it's good. It's comfy to wear all day. You can run in it, but it's not my favorite. And the latest Pegasus, I don't even like those at all. So I would say Cumulus. That's a long way for me to get there, but yeah, I just didn't. I mean, I think if you're starting out though, I think if you were like for high school kids, I would say go with the Pegasus, because like the kids just want to. The kids like the swoosh, so I'm like, yeah, get in something that's going to be not so disagreeable, or like not that it's disagreeable to be in a Cumulus, but it's just like it's what their friends are going to be wearing, so you let them fit in, I guess. Andrew Cho says the Ben Johnson made it seem like the Vomero is comparable to an Invincible. I feel like if the Vomero is like kind of like an Invincible, but doesn't have that weird like assertiveness where it makes you want to have a different cadence than you do, unless you're running with it at faster paces, then I think that'd be great. Great. The thing I don't like the Invincible at slow paces because the way it's bouncy, it like doesn't want to let me like do my thing at easy paces. It's like you should be doing something different. It's like chatty in a way. It's like it's constantly giving me feedback that I'm not doing what it wants me to do. It's very weird. But if it's a like more chill, then I don't agree. I have high hopes for that shoe. I hope I like it. It looks pretty good. It looks a lot like the wind flow. I don't know why like they keep making the maybe that's intentional, so that way the wind people buy more wind flows, and then from there they buy more. I don't know, but like all the shoes in the Nike line, like the shoes that I like, they're in the Nike lineup. They're making look like the budget shoes in the Nike lineup. I don't know what that's all about. I feel that chattiness a bit with the Super Blast. It wants me to go despite no plate. I know what you're saying. And that's why, like, for me, I agree. It's not as pronounced, though, as an Invincible. But, like, both of those shoes, and I usually compare those shoes to each other because both of those shoes, for me, at easy paces, aren't right. There's something, it's like, this doesn't feel like what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, they're comfortable. It's soft enough. But, like, there's something about it that feels off a little bit. And so with the Super Blast, I always want to pick up the pace a little bit more, and I like it most at like marathon pace or slightly slower. More than easy paces for me, and it is weird. But I know a lot of people do like it for easy paces. And so I mean, like, anytime people have a question of like, well, I like the Invincible, can you recommend another shoe to me? Or same thing, I like the Super Blast, but can you recommend another shoe? I'm like, tell me how you like to use those shoes first. Then I can figure out what you like next, So I don't know. Sorry, I'm just really thirsty today because I just got back from my run. Andrew Scott says, spot on. I thought the Invincible 3s would be good for recovery, but when I take them at recovery pace, they feel kind of flat. Yeah, I felt that way for all the Invincibles, and I just, when I first heard of the Invincible, I remember thinking, oh, they're finally going to give us all Zoom X, no plate. This will be fun. And I thought it would be like, you would use it like a Zoom Fly. I was like, this is going to be great. Well, I don't know why they're not making it the Zoom Fly and calling it an Invincible. Maybe because, I don't know. I'm like, what? Oh, but whatever. I'll take it and I'll try it. And then it was just like, and then I saw it first and you're like, oh, that does not look like a shoe that you're supposed to run fast in. So it must be a recovery shoe. Big and cushy, nice and squishy. But then it wasn't that for me either. So I was like, I don't know what to do with this thing. So it took me a while to kind of figure out, like, how am I supposed to use this? Because it always makes me run, like, it kind of makes me feel like I'm doing dressage. You know that thing with the horses where the horses, like, have to, like, dance kind of funny as they kind of prance around? And there's, like, a contest about it. Can you make them do this sideways? Can you make them do it forwards and backwards? That thing. I feel like my feet are doing that in the Invincible when I'm running slow. I don't know why. Tyler Hertenberg says, if I race in the New Balance SC Elite version 3, does it make more sense to go for a Super Blast for the longer marathon workouts or the SC Trainer version 2? I would say, like, why not? It depends on what you don't like about using the SC Elite version 3 for your workouts as well. Because I feel like that's the easy answer is just use the same shoe. Right. But, if there's something about it where, you want to like spread the miles out and try, or just have a different shoe to try. I mean, I think that like the SC Trainer 2 is going to be pretty similar to it. More similar than the Super Blast is going to be. But I also feel like long marathon workouts is like the Super Blast specialty. So like that could be something that gives you a little bit of a different sensation. And and then you'll feel snappy when it comes to race day because you'll have like that smaller shoe on your foot. It's not as huge of a stack height. The SE Elite Trainer version 2 did get a lot lighter though this year. So I think it would be fun, but I would say like, use the SE Elite version 3. But if you're looking for a second, I'd probably go with the SE Trainer version 2. Yeah, Kevin says, each day, Coach tries to shoehorn in a new word or phrase he hasn't used before. JC wants to know, who had dressage on their bingo card? That's so funny. The best is when they had Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart commentating at the dressage of the Olympics. Do you guys remember that? That was fun. That was really fun. And then they tried to like, I think they just like threw that in there, and then like it turned out to be like viral hit. And then they tried to have them do a bunch of other events, and it wasn't as funny. But that was good. That was good. Jason Dahl says, haha, word of the day. Calendar, extra points for using the word. Yeah. Or maybe someone bet me earlier and whether or not I can work in a word in the live stream today. So Andrew Scott said, didn't Snoop call it a crip walk? He did. And I'm like, is that funny, or did he just make a whole bunch of crips real mad? I don't know. Sam Walter says, hey, do you have any advice or recommended resources for base building plans to get back to regular running after an extended break? Thanks. I mean, I think that just a lot of, base building plan, just a lot of easy running. But I think that there's a lot of free resources online that could help you with that. But I was like, just to do some base building, I would say just start running a lot. Let's see. What would be a good resource? Because I feel like if you go to Fitzinger's or like Jack Daniels, the base building they don't even talk about base building really. Who talks about base building? I don't know. I feel like that might be a good Sage Candidate type of plan or higher running. I wonder if Ben Parks has plans for something like that. Those are two that I can think of off the top of my head. But then and you can always do a Hal Higdon, but those are more race oriented plans. And then there is Galway method, which is the run walk. That could be another good one if it's been a very, very long break and you're trying to just ease back into it. Because what I tell people when they're starting out is it's great if you're running and walking at this, run a little bit, walk a little bit, you don't have to be a hero. You just want to be out there for 20, 30 minutes and get used to that. The harder part is figuring out how to get 20 extra 30 minutes in your schedule. What you actually do when you're out there, I kind of don't care for the first couple of weeks. Walk the whole time if you want, jog a little bit, walk a little bit, jog the whole time, doesn't matter. So that's kind of my general approach, but the mechanics of every day, let's say, if you're starting from couch, you know what I mean? I would say try to do that 2 times to 3 times a week, 20 to 30 minutes. Get your shoes on. Don't even have to be running shoes. Whatever you got is fine. 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back. Do that. Can be running, can be walking, and then work on that until you're running the entire time. Do it one day, rest 1 to 2 days after that. Do it again, rest 1 to 2 days after that. There you go. Daniel Burton says Sage is doing the marathon in Hawaii. Yeah, I just watched that video yesterday. That's interesting. It's interesting to see him going for road marathon times again. I didn't think he'd be doing that again, so that's cool. And Jason Dahl says, Ben Parks just released an in-between plans to keep running before and after a marathon training cycle. Not sure if they would apply to starting post-break, though. But I think, no, maybe not. But, that's the kind of plan that you're looking for. Just, how do you, I think the question is, I think we're making it too complicated. It's how do you make a schedule? Maybe, is what I'm thinking, I don't know. Eric says there's a free plan on Runner's World if you really need a plan, but I just start with 3 mile runs, easy every other day, and then build up and don't rush it. Yeah. Nick Frame says the Jack Daniels running formula second edition talks plenty about how to handle base. Does it? I just feel like he assumes that you're a college runner. He just assumes you're a college runner, and so you understand that part already. Or maybe I've skipped over it. I'm like, I know base, and I just skipped to like whatever it is, phase 2 of 4. You know, I don't know. I'll have to revisit that, Nick. Now I'm not sure. Now that you say that. Akapen Senpai says, random question, but you posted a winter running reel on IG. You were wearing a white camouflage jacket. What jacket is that? I think I know what you're talking about. That reel may have had 2 winter jackets. If it had a hood and it looked super thick, that's a snowboarder's jacket. And the brand is Montec, I want to say. Yeah. So that was that day was -9 degrees Fahrenheit. That was a very cold day. I don't run in that jacket a lot, but I use it especially for days like that where I'm like, this might be a really dumb idea to run today. I better go grab the snowboarder's jacket. The other jacket it might be, if I wasn't wearing a hood, even though that jacket does have a hood, there's a white jacket that Jonji made last year that has like a mountain print on it, and it looks kind of like snow camo. That's more of a rain shell. That one is a little bit more versatile, and it's made for running. You know. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. It's a weekend, so I won't see you guys till Monday. And remember, next week, Monday, we'll unbox the other box that we saw today. And then, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's going to be it, because then it'll be travel day. So short week next week, live stream wise, but we'll have some fun. Should we play? Let's play another game so that I can give out some more t-shirts. So let's plan on that tentatively for Tuesday. So then, yeah. And then maybe we'll give out. I gotta get rid of these koozies too. I gotta figure something to do about that. So I got some stuff to figure out, but we'll get it sorted. All right. This weekend, guys, if you guys are racing, good luck. Hopefully, I'll have good news for me on Monday to report to the group. Even if you don't have good news, I want to hear about it. Let us know. We can celebrate with you. We can commiserate with you. Whatever you need. But hope you guys have good races over the weekend. And in the meantime, whatever you guys doing, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.